Since the end of the Space Shuttle program in 2011, Pad 39A has begun yet another transformation. Commercial developer SpaceX is modifying the pad to launch a larger version of their Falcon 9 rocket called the El-Hewie. SpaceX is also building a crew capsule capable of carrying astronauts and will be launching crews to the International Space Station as part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program. Another commercial provider to support NASA's crew transportation is Boeing. They named their capsule the CST-100. Like SpaceX, Boeing's capsule will begin flying to the station later this decade. They will launch from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station just a few miles from here on a modified Atlas V rocket. With private industry stepping up to support low Earth orbit missions to the ISS, NASA can focus more heavily on deep space exploration, which you will learn about at Launchpad 39B.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're now looking at Launchpad 39B. Keep in mind it is still identical to Launchpad 39A. The only difference is the surface of the launch pad. NASA has upgraded and remodified this launch pad as well, and NASA calls it a clean pad. The reason being is they're going to allow some of the private industry to launch from right here as well. But not before NASA launches its new Space Launch System rocket from here first. The three tall 600-foot towers you see, these are called lightning arresters. These will actually shield the rocket from lightning strikes upon liftoff. There's been 53 shuttle missions that took place over here. One of them, the oldest man to ever fly into space, left from his launch pad. Mr. John Glenn was 77. In memory of the Space Shuttle Challenger, this is the launch pad it last lifted off from right here as well.
Sorry.
All right, so we're going to go get another picture of this here same launch pad from a different angle. Please remain seated. On the other side of this building, on the right side, is a little pond. And sometimes you get alligators that hang out inside here, about 8 of them or so. I make no promises that you're going to see anybody, but I'm a very generous person. There's one right down there on the side, got his head sticking up out of the water on the east side. About midway down. You have to trust me that they're in here, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Best thing I can tell you, okay? All right, I'm going to be stopping the bus up here once again, give you a chance to get one last photo of this here launch pad. Right here. Alrighty. Moving right along. Please remain seated where you are. Okay? Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, this next video is going to tell you a little bit about the history of this launch pad and also about the future plans for launching that rocket right here as well. Also, before I play the video, over here off the right side, you notice there's 2 big smooth sections of gravel over here off the right side, and it's separated by a single grassy median. Remember that big vehicle I showed you? There's 2 of them, the crawler transporter? Well, that's the crawler transporter's personal driveway. NASA refers to it as the crawlerway, but this is that vehicle's driveway. It takes up every bit of that room going all the way across, okay? This driveway is about the width of a football field. It's also about 8 feet deep. and it's made with different layers of filler, with the top layers of it being Alabama, Tennessee river rock. The reason NASA chooses river rock is because it doesn't cause a spark. This is also considered the main access road. The main access road that leads to Launch Pad B. You cannot get to Launch Pad 39A traveling this road over here out the right. But we are going to cross over the main access road that leads to Launch Pad 39A. And I'll pause briefly, give you a chance to get a better look, an understanding, and perhaps a photo of just how huge that driveway is. I did say I'm going to pause, not necessarily stop and stay, okay? But this video, again, is going to tell you a little bit about the history and the future plans for that rocket that we're going to be launching from Launch Pad B.
Nowhere else on KSC is preparation for the future as obvious as at Launch Pad 39B. Built as an identical pad to 39A for the Apollo Saturn V rocket, Pad B was also updated for the Space Shuttle program. 53 shuttle missions launched from this pad, including 12 missions to help construct or resupply the
Take a
space
look out
station.
each side.
Today, the pad is being modified
Take a look out
for the
each
Space
side. We're in the
Launch
middle of that
System, or
driveway.
SLS.
That's a
It will
huge
be used for
driveway.
NASA's deep space missions beyond Earth orbit, including the capture of an asteroid and, eventually, human exploration of Mars. 3 600-foot-tall masts were built near the pad to provide lightning protection to the vehicles prior to launch. Both the fixed service structure and rotating service structure that were built for the shuttle have been removed, making it more flexible and able to support many different launch vehicles. Below the pad is a 4-story facility that houses the infrastructure needed for launch, including power, hydraulics, and water. Several miles of outdated wiring and cables have been removed and replaced with high-speed fiber optics. The first SLS mission carrying a crew aboard the Orion spacecraft is set to launch on a 3-week trip to orbit the moon to demonstrate the capabilities necessary for NASA to conduct an asteroid retrieval mission. SLS vehicles will evolve to support human deep space missions, in addition to robotic missions and astronomical observatories. In the past, such missions have been limited by the size and capabilities of existing rockets. The SLS payload carrier is large enough to hold 9 school buses. And for NASA's missions to the outer planets, its larger propulsion systems would enable more direct trajectories, reducing mission travel time and increasing actual mission time by years. Previous spacecraft have had to make multiple gravity assist maneuvers around the inner
Turtle on the
planets
road trying
to
to
reach
cross
the
the road to get
velocity
Kentucky
needed,
Fried Chicken over here
costing
on the
valuable
left side.
time.
And he sits down to pray. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So this next video is very, very impressive. It's going to tell you precisely more in detail about our new rocket and how we're planning on traveling further out and exploring deep space. Also coming up, I want to show you our new countdown clock. When I pass this, when I clear the trees over here off the left, you're going to look across the water off the left side, and there's a flag waving at half-staff. Beneath that flagpole, there's a blue box. That's our new countdown clock. The original countdown clock you passed by when you came into park today. It was on your left-hand side, okay? Also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you the original access arm that was taken from Launch Pad 39A. It looks like a long gray structure. Has a white box on the end. And I'll show you that. And also, those of you that are having trouble getting some photos out the right side, in just a little bit, you'll see the flag on the building, and you can take advantage of that as well, okay?
We explore to gain knowledge, to push the boundaries of possibility, and to reveal the unknown.
We seek to discover, find answers here on Earth and in space.
Was Mars once an Earth-like planet with water and an atmosphere?
I think we said
What
that
happened?
the flag is out.
Can the same
half
thing
because
happen here on Earth?
President
What about asteroids?
Bush-
Is there something we can do to prevent a big one from colliding with Earth?
We can go to Mars in our lifetime and answer some of humanity's fundamental questions about life beyond Earth.
Robots are doing great work exploring our solar system. But
Flag on the
eventually,
building on the
we
right
will be able to
side.
put a
Take
person on the
advantage of
ground.
it and get you some photos if you wish.
Now, sending people to deep space destinations requires a lot of
Coming up
stuff.
on the right side as well,
including
you'll
water,
see
shelter,
a big
fuel, spare
long
parts,
gray
tools,
structure
and
with a white
supplies.
box on the
It's
end.
like a space
This
ferry
is the
RV.
original access arm
The
that
farther
flew
you
of
go,
Atlantis.
the longer the trip,
Was the last
the
one to
more
walk
you need,
across
and
here
that
back
means
in
moving a lot of
2011.
mass.
It was at
So when you
launch
talk
pad
about getting past
39A.
people of Earth's gravity, you need a bigger, more powerful rocket.
There's a picture along the side of it. Small picture. It shows you the access arm extending over toward the
The
space
Space
shuttle.
Launch System is an all-new
Picture to
heavy
the
lift
right of
rocket
it
that uses a
shows the
combination
astronauts
of
and the
proven
orange
hardware
suits inside the
technology
white room.
to make it more affordable. We can take the best from all we've learned from building rockets and combine that with cutting-edge tooling and manufacturing technology to build the most powerful rocket in
All right,
history.
ladies and gentlemen, we're about just over 3 minutes from our next stop.
You can
I
fly
do
to
hope
really
that
high
you
orbits
have
around the
enjoyed
moon
this
with this
tour
rocket
and
without
was able to
requiring
get you
any
some
other
nice
assistance.
photos.
But when we add an upper stage, we'll have
Please
an even
remain
bigger
seated
task.
where you are.
The large revolved version of SLS can carry a habitat, larger solar arrays, additional propulsion, you name it. It's really a versatile rocket.